Hello and welcome to Warhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us tonight for the Cookout Podcast, where we talk about what's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling.
Yes, y'all. What's up? What's up? It is Tuesday. How y'all doing?
Tired.
I can't complain.
Tired. I guess Anika probably running a minute later here. I put the link in. Hopefully she found it. So I guess we'll give her a minute or two. I guess we could probably start with talking about the weekend's pay-per-views, and she can jump in whenever we want. Sammy, it was your idea to talk about the weekend's pay-per-views and kind of round them up. Where you want to start?
Let's go ahead and get NXT out of the way.
Battleground? I honestly thought this was one of the better shows of the weekend myself. I liked it better than. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I liked it better than Double or Nothing. I liked it better than Under Siege. Yeah, I thought it was. I didn't think there was. Honestly, I didn't think there was really a bad match on the card. I thought the worst match on the card might have been Tiffany and Lyra, and I thought that was even a good match. I thought they did a good job too. For me, it was the only show of the weekend that, as I'm thinking in my mind right now, and I'd have to look at the card a second time. I don't think there was a match I thought was bad or disliked. Every other show had at least a match where I thought, okay, this is bad, or I disliked it, or could have moved on. So that's why I thought it was good. Miss Nico will be here in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
What y'all think about Battleground? Was I the only one to think that?
I didn't think it was better than Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
I thought it was better than Double or Nothing because it was just too much with Double or Nothing. Too much of everything. Too much of everything.
CM don't have it a big because she ain't watching, which is all good. Yeah, no, I mean,
I enjoyed Double or Nothing because I didn't watch anything else. What Impact or Double or Nothing?
Double or Nothing was really good. I just thought that they had a couple matches that left me a little flat. And you know, like even the main event, and I guess we'll probably get there when we talk about it. But for me, Anarchy in the Arena, those matches, I enjoy them, but there's so much going on, and there's only so much camera time that you miss so much of it that I just it is what it is. You know what I mean? But so those aren't my favorite matches. Huh?
What was the best match of Battleground?
Ooh, the best match of Battleground. Probably Ilya and Dijak. That match was insane. I thought they killed it. Ilya, I'm telling you, every time he's in the ring, it's gold. I mean, the dude is amazing, and especially when you put him. And I know that I'm one of these guys that doesn't like smaller guys against bigger guys. This is going to be one of my counter arguments, and it's only because Ilya doesn't have that traditional really small guy look. I know he's not tall, but he's a bigger built guy. He doesn't have that really small frame, and he doesn't carry himself like a small guy. But man, him and bigger dudes, slightly bigger guys, the chemistry is just insane. And now that he's done it with both Walter and Dijak, the common factor is Ilya, right? So I mean, I thought that was probably the best match of the night. Or Wesley. I thought Wesley, Tyler Bate, and Joe Gacy killed it. I thought they really killed it. I thought both of those were better than Braun and Mello, which I thought was really good.
Yep. I would agree. Both of those were better than Braun versus Mello.
And I thought Gallus versus Creeds was really good too. I thought that was a really good, hard-hitting match. I was kind of, I mean, as much as I like Gallus, I was kind of surprised the Creeds didn't win just because it feels like it's kind of their time and it was their spot. But Gallus hasn't had the titles that long either. So, and I'm not mad at Gallus keeping the titles. So,
honestly, I might have liked Tiffany and Lyra better than Noam Dar versus Dragon Lee.
And I thought that was really solid too. I mean, if you're saying that was the worst match on the card, then I mean it was a really solid card. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because even Lyra and Tiff, which I thought was probably the worst match, was really good. I mean, I thought that was really good. So.
Yeah, I had to go back and watch it. I didn't watch it live. I can only have one screen going now.
Adika says someone said NOC was better. Night of Champions was better than Double or Nothing in the theater, and I had to say, "Would you please stop?" So yeah, no, I don't think Night of Champions was better than. Well, I don't know. No, Night of Champions was good too, but they had a couple bad matches. Which one do you want to move? Do you want to talk about Night of Champions, or you want to move on to? Or Dolores, what was your opinion overall? Do you want to talk more about? You got anything more to say about Battleground?
It was overall good pay-per-view. WWE in general this weekend did good. I don't know what happened at Double or Nothing. I don't know if somebody just was on the roller coaster and couldn't get off. Especially at the main event, it was like, okay, we're used to the music playing, but dude wasn't hitting any of the notes, and he was screaming, and it was like, at a certain point, it's like, you need to stop it.
He did. He got super kicked.
He did when he got super
It was
kicked.
That
great.
was like 30 minutes. You know, somebody put a meme out. I have to download and put on here. But it was like 2 hours later, and he's still going. And it was like 3 hours later, and he's still going. Did he get
I
super
watched it on
kicked?
mute, so it was great to me because it was on
Ooh,
mute.
it was horrible.
Yeah, watch it on mute. There you
It's
go.
like if the note was over here, he was way over there.
Oh, so he blue faced it. He blue
Yes,
faced
it was like a cover band who missed the mark, and it was like he didn't get none of the notes, didn't get on beat at all. It was just horrible.
Yeah, I mean, if you missed the beginning of the match where they laid out the rules and you're not familiar with the Heritage Cup from NXT UK, then yeah, I mean, if you just came into it and started watching, you'd be like, "What is this?" But I mean, they did lay out the rules before the match a little bit, and they've had the Heritage Cup before, so I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Nika says, "I'm not
I just,
saying it was better, but the tribalism of it all, like, bruh."
You
Yeah,
can't beat
I mean,
Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup. It's impossible.
it's impossible.
but it's like tonight picked up off of what happens, and they had some surprises that were like, "Whoa, I didn't expect that to happen," especially coming off of what happened Sunday. So it's setting up some new things. I think they're beginning to learn how to pick up the pace and get things going.
Yeah, I haven't watched today's NXT yet, so I haven't seen how they've moved on from Battleground, but I'll watch that after the cookout tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yeah, when you watch it, let me just say the main event, somebody who I never thought would come back to wrestle again does.
All right. Interesting. Well, I guess we should move on and talk about a show that at least CM watched, so she can be part of it. You want to talk about
Let's talk about Under Siege.
Under Siege. Go ahead. CM, you want to, or Sammy, go ahead and lead the conversation.
The Death Dolls versus the Coven was a very good match.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought Under Siege had some good matches. Trey Miguel versus Chris Sabin, I thought they killed it. I thought Sabin actually was going to win it a couple times. That might have been the best match of the card.
I just knew he had it like 3 different times. I just knew. I was like, oh shit, damn, Trey Miguel.
Yeah, and Trey's had that belt for so long that it's at that point where like anytime he's in a really good match, you can see him losing it because it's kind of at that point. So, but and then whatchamacallit, the scramble was good. I thought I wouldn't call it a scramble. I guess the 6-man match was good.
I wasn't expecting Alex Shelley to win, but congrats to him.
Yeah, I mean, they had to give something to one of the Motor City Machine Guns, right? Since Chris Sabin lost, they gave the win to Alex Shelley. No, I was happy to see Alex Shelley win. I mean, I was surprised. Obviously, I picked Kaz, so I had that wrong. So, but I thought the match was really solid. Even the people that I didn't expect to do great in it, I thought looked okay. I thought Moose looked okay. So PCO and Macklin.
Okay, we just gonna go around the bush and not talk about the best match of the weekend. Trinity. Like, come on. Look, I liked seeing Trinity back. I love seeing her wrestle. I like she's gonna go against Savannah Evans this week on Impact. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But also, Giselle Shaw has like a whole like little faction, right? Why doesn't she ever help her man? Like he got put through a whole flaming. Like she could have come out and like hit Bully Ray in the nuts. She could pull Alicia Evans and like got a bad. She could have done a lot of things, and she just was like, "He'll be okay." Like, what kind of girlfriend is that? Like, damn. Even Dirty Tango helped Santino a little bit.
No, I mean I enjoyed Trinity versus Giselle. I thought it was a really good match. I mean, Trinity stood out. She looked really good, and Giselle's a really good wrestler. So, I mean, the match was really solid. I mean, for I think Giselle's a good first like opening little feud for her. This whole thing is good for her. I like it. I mean, I'm here for it. I mean, I'm ready. I mean, she should and be competing for the championship shortly here, but at the same time, she shouldn't just get a title match just right off top either. So I kind of like the fact that she's going to have a little feud here with Giselle and then and she's going to wrestle Savannah Evans. But yeah, I mean, we'll see, and then hopefully she'll be fighting for the title here in the next 6 months or so. I would think.
Well, Deanna did cut that promo and said she wanted to dance with her. And with Jordan Grace gone, they're gonna need a bigger women's star. Which I did not see that happening. I did not see Jordan Grace leaving Impact.
That's probably the biggest thing. Well, I don't know. I mean, we'll see on Thursday, but so far that seems to be the biggest thing. Fallout from Impact from Under Siege is that Jordan's leaving, which is a big deal. Where y'all think she's going to end up?
I don't. Will she still be wrestling?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, she's just going to go on to bodybuilding, or I mean, I don't know that much about her. Like, I have no idea what her other things are. I don't know what else she does in the world or in her life, but she's a bodybuilder. I know that. So
she does OnlyFans, and she's a millionaire.
Okay.
So she don't need to do anything. So
maybe she don't want to wrestle.
Where else could she go that she would have that schedule, like the flexible schedule?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's AEW, but I don't see her going to AEW.
Because, like, where would she fit?
I don't know. You think WWE has any interest?
I think
well, I don't think the WWE schedule would work for her.
Yeah.
They're not hiring freeze, it seems like.
Oh, I thought they were over that.
They still haven't really hired. I know let me.
But they about to fire a whole bunch of
people. Tonight, they kind of gotten somebody back that they hadn't had in a while, and they had somebody that they already had and just made them do something different. But other than that, they haven't really all the people that were new, quote unquote, are just people that they already had signed and just tucked away.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some people just take a break. I mean, Charlotte, everybody seems to be taking a break. Hey, Hassan, how are you doing?
I think everyone's doing well, Hassan. I had a good Memorial Day weekend. I don't know about y'all, but it was good. Yeah, no, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jordan. I mean, it doesn't feel like it feels like if she walks away now. I mean, and who am I to say anything? But it feels like if she walks away now, like she left maybe something behind that she could have accomplished more in the ring. But that's just whatever. Just because she's so good, like see her on a bigger stage doing more, with the bigger title. But at the same time, if she's making $1 million on OnlyFans, it is what it is. Or if she don't want to wrestle anymore, then more power to her. Do whatever you want to do. It wouldn't surprise me to see her end up anywhere doing something, just trying it, at minimum to see, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens.
Aside from Trinity, what was everybody's favorite match from Under Siege?
For me, it was probably Trey and Chris Sabin.
Oh. That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were all really good to me.
I think I might go with the 6-man tag. I am a fan of 6-man tag matches, though, so I'm probably biased.
My least favorite thing was the ending, like with Bully Ray and all that.
Yeah.
I could have done without that. But take that off, it was perfect for me.
Yeah, I thought the whole Scott D'Amore Bully Ray stuff at the very end of the show was stupid. And honestly, even though I'm glad Macklin won because I hate PCO, I thought that match came off a little. Macklin was bleeding a little too much, in my personal opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think that match came off great.
If you bleed more than PCO, are you human?
Right? So I thought for me, I thought Trey Chris Sabin was probably the best match. But yeah, what about you, Dolores? You have the best match from the Siege?
I chose Jordan and Deanna because that was the only women's match the whole weekend I liked. Everybody else seemed to, well, other than GCW, but that don't count. They just seemed to be not really putting it all. Like Night of Champions, they were just lollygagging and BSing around. And then Double or Nothing, it seemed like the women's matches really weren't as exciting as you would want them to be. Like they have set an expectation that is high. And so when you get these types of matches, you're like, I don't know if this is what I like. So I would say Under Siege, I think the women's match with Deanna and Jordan was my favorite because it was like a real wrestling match. I'm a hardcore girl, but I like a real wrestling match sometimes.
There were women's matches I did like on those cards, but we'll get to those here in a minute. Nika's still not here.
Nope.
We're going to Double or Nothing. All right, we'll save Night of Champions for last.
Y'all can talk about Night of Champions. I like stuff. I think that it closed up a lot of storylines and opened up some new ones because pretty soon we're not going to see Sammy. So, kind of gave him a way out. Darby got beat by the same move twice. Jungle Boy had the opportunity to go heel, but if it wasn't against Darby, would he have gone heel against like Sammy or MJF? He has respect for Darby. The other two, not so much. Anarchy in the arena was, I told y'all, I knew that cameraman looked weird. I knew. Because I was like, I don't know about cameraman.
I noticed it when you did. I was like, that cameraman's pretty buff.
Like, it was like, that's weird. And we don't ever see anything from that particular angle.
No, we don't. Never.
Weird. Okay. Being 100% honest, I think this leads to Kota Ibushi coming in. And I, for one, really want to see Kota Ibushi versus Takeshita.
Yeah. Kota comes
blood and guts. That's what this leads to. And who knows, we might get it at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, maybe. But given the way that Kota Ibushi left New Japan, I don't know. But also, depending on how healthy Eddie is, Eddie could also be a viable contender to go up against Blackpool Combat Club because it could be like Mox, like, look at what they've turned you into. You got something to lose now. Is you in the Walmart?
So my daddy is a delusional old man who wanted food right after I worked. So I'm getting this real quick, but let me just say my piece. If Darby's not the one to beat MJF, I'm gonna freaking lose it. Like, but it's that good hurt though. It's that good hurt of like really a headlock takeover a second time. Really, if that's not intentional, I'm finding MJF and I'm punching him in the face. You don't do that twice and not let Darby beat you for the belt. You don't. I'm sorry.
For the love of God, don't let it be Punk ass.
No, he has to be the one now. I'm already determined. Go on Jungle Boy. He has to be the one.
Ricky. It's gotta be Darby or Ricky. Either one of them.
I personally would love it if it was Yuta.
Also, okay,
He just pinned Kenny Omega.
Swerve? What about Swerve being the ultimate heel and like nobody expecting him to sneak up and take that belt from MJF, and he's the one who takes it?
I'm not necessarily angry with that or opposed to that. I'd like it. I mean,
Now the whole
I'm a Kenny Omega fan, and at the same time, I don't need to see him with the belt again. I'm ready to see. Let's have
Yeah,
somebody else.
no, I don't. We don't need Kenny with the belt right now. Let's
Yeah, I agree.
get
There's
to
too
it.
many other viable candidates that haven't had the belt that I'd rather see.
Let's let Kenny be like the TV champ or the TNT champ, like something like that. Like, let's not make him the big champ.
now
Hell, I
Jungle
wouldn't
Boy.
mind it going to a member from House of Black.
Can we
Now,
please
Jungle-
talk about how funny Max Caster was? He had
Hold
some
on,
serious
hold on. We gotta get a
hysterical lines.
look.
Real quick, okay.
Before she gotta go.
So the Jungle Boy thing, this is why it was dumb. Number one, it was a DQ. So it wasn't a morally yes or no decision. You could legally have hit him with the belt, Jungle Boy. So that was just you being stupid. That wasn't a morally, that wasn't a moral decision. That was just you being stupid. So I don't know who did that out for him, but that was just dumb on his part. Continue.
I disagree because
Jungle Boy didn't want to turn heel.
guy. He doesn't want to. It doesn't matter whether it's okay or not. It's not his style. That's not who he is. After
Darby
thinking
used
about it, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take the shortcut, even though I can.
But Darby used a skateboard. Okay,
Yeah,
don't
well,
use the
Darby's
belt
more
then.
heelish than Jungle Boy.
But don't use the belt then. Get a chair. Get a kendo stick. It's a no DQ match.
The Jungle Boy's the good, wholesome boy next door.
A no DQ match. You're the stupid young boy next door.
That might be.
If it was Christian Cage, he would have done it.
Like if you're gonna do that angle, the match cannot be a no DQ match. That's why everybody was booing you because you were being stupid.
How hilarious was the turtleneck chant?
I want him to win so bad. There were so many possibilities. We had so many possibilities if he won that belt.
I just knew he had that belt because fuck Wardlow. Like, Wardlow is cute and everything, but he's boring. He is so boring. I can watch a Wardlow match to take a nap.
No offense. If you want to rehabilitate him, that's fine. But don't do it with him as champ. If there's no story behind it, I am sorry. Let someone else be champ, and then when he is ready, he can win it back. But no, get that belt off of him.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say, for me, my favorite women's moment besides Trinity was Jade beating Taya.
Okay. Real quick. Okay, so I know she wears green because she said green is money, but I knew she was an AKA, and so that entrance was everything. I saw your question, AL. You're like either that or Jade. Bianca's entrance. I really can't decide. For my sister, who's a ski, I miss with her. That's definitely ski.
Don't stop.
I don't care. Must be bullying me. I don't care. No, okay. I will have to go with Jade for now. But it's so close. All right, continue.
What about you,
Bianca?
But that's my sister. Also my sister.
I'm sorry if you gonna stroll. Be a little tighter in that.
Like she was
thing, and I wish she could have done it like into the ring or around.
Yeah,
not just the ring. Like, give me the whole thing. Like,
yeah,
make them scared to break line. Give me the whole thing. That's what I need.
Yeah. Like I said, for my sister. Now for me. Dancing Dolls Bianca probably wins, but for my sister, I'll give it to Jade this time.
But hold up. Beyond all that, them your LSs, they let this woman come down ramp and attack you. They just stuck you out there to try, girl. But I want to see a heel Bianca and a face
Cheetos.
I want to see it.
I would. You know what? I keep going back. When they go back to, they have little marathons. Her first Royal Rumble, and she was not black and gold, and she was healing up, doing all this to the ring. I wouldn't mind going back to that. I would, and let's say the rumor is have her and her husband Montez and D'Angelo. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind it, especially all the Saudi people was booing. I'm like, I'm sorry, boo you. Well, why are y'all booing? I really do like Oscar, but you're really booing Bianca. Boo you.
I just want to point out something that somebody pointed out on Facebook. I don't know if y'all have noticed the trend with people who work, the women who work with Oscar. But going by the trend, we gotta hurry up with Bianca's story because she won't have too long. Because there was Becky, Alexa, Carmella, Lacey, all worked with Oscar. All got babies now. So
wrap it up. Wrap it up, please.
Bianca before.
I mean,
Oscar.
Speaking of wrapping it up, even though we all hate him, did you guys like the Ty Sammy moment at least? Where they announced
who cares? No.
No.
Well, I mean that's one thing you can bet on though is that Oscar's not going to be announcing a pregnancy anytime soon.
Who?
Oscar, we're not going to get that announcement anytime soon. We definitely could with Bianca though.
I mean, she already has kids, so she could.
Yeah.
Yeah, she good.
She good. She good.
Is now the time to talk about Max Casper's bars?
What? Okay. Here's the thing, right? I think I finally reached a point where I can say this. Max Casper's bars are not meant but for like one particular demographic. And like the punchlines are dope sometimes. But bruh, you had to bring up WWE. Like you couldn't even bring up the fact that like you was doing the sister and he's doing your girl. Like you couldn't bring that wasn't like that wasn't the punchline.
I can't lie. I was
want to
laughing.
see that match again. I want them to run that back.
Yeah.
I enjoyed most of this card. I thought it was my favorite pay-per-view of the weekend.
We coming dead, going it. Shut up.
What's that my favorite? I gotta see if that was my favorite 6-man of the weekend.
Are you getting into it with someone? Damn. She's like telling someone to shut up.
Oh no, the chicken! I'm chicken the intercom talking about Walmart's closing. Right? If you don't shut your stupid goofy behind, I'm sorry.
Walmart closes?
They do now?
After the pandemic, it ain't 24 hours anymore.
Oh shit!
What do people do now when they need something to do for fun?
Like, I'm not mad at it. But I'm just saying, be polite about it. You ain't gonna be you yelling like you want to go home. You gonna be here in 2 hours.
No, she want to go home. They already done started closing up. Or they don't know, y'all. She said F inventory. It'll be here tomorrow.
It's like this is fucking stuff. Just one more thing. Here it comes. All right, continue.
Also, I was a fan of the tag match. Like, I understand not everybody's a Jeff Jarrett fan, but God, I had so much fun watching that.
Again.
Aubrey Edwards against the Jarretts. That needs to happen.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
That I'm down to see. But I just felt like, for me personally, it didn't feel like a pay per view. It felt like a Fighter Fest or like a Double Dynamite, some sort of like It didn't have that for me. It didn't have that regular AEW pay per view feel. I
Like,
thought between this match that had too many shenanigans, the whole stupid stuff. I mean, the stuff. I mean, it's not stupid, I guess, but I didn't like Chris coming back and beating Jade after she just beat Taya. I didn't really care for that, and I didn't like the whole bullshit with Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter. Like I thought between those three, it felt really down for me for AEW.
so I'll say
Uh,
this, real quick. I think number one, like, even though I don't think it was intentional, when you announce another pay-per-view, like the London show, you have to be weary of that, right? Because even though you're like, okay, I just announced it, right? But no one's focusing on the pay-per-view right now. And that is like that can't happen. You have to give time to the stuff right now and then look towards the future. Like Gas said, yeah, just announce it. But make sure you're getting the time for the pay-per-view that's coming up. The hair thing, that is what it is. I hate that saying, but sometimes it is that. Now, like, yeah, like I like. Do you want her to relinquish the title? Nah, not really. Honestly, like, and for me, I would give to Ruby. I know, London's coming up, so you want to give to a Brit, but I think Ruby was probably the best out of all three to give the belt to. But that's like that thing, right? Like that part, it is what it is. But like I said, don't focus on the next when you're not handling what's now in front of you.
Was House of Black versus the Acclaim the only match that had zero shenanigans?
I think it might have been. Let's see.
And that match could have easily had shenanigans with Julia Hart or some spitting mist and stuff like that. That match could have had shenanigans, and it didn't.
It did not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Anarchy in the Arena is a mess all the way around. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but no, I think you're right. I mean, I think you're basically right. Dolores, you haven't said anything in a minute. What's your take? What's your take on Double or Nothing?
I didn't too much like the Double or Nothing. It had its moments. Like in the moment, it could be like, oh, okay. But after you've been there for a while, you be like, hold on, this is not right. Something's not right. And the Korean Arena, that whole, we're going to play the music like we did the last time. But this time we're going to have a live cover band who cannot sing it. Irk the crap out of me. Jeff Jarrett. I like Jay Lethal. I like everybody in the match. Jeff Jarrett, for some apparent reason, I'm going to say this to the day I die, I hate this man. I hate this man with a passion. Ain't nothing gonna change that hate. So I was just like, oh, I cannot stand that he's in this match. As far as like, I like the Hardy Party, Ethan thing, but that's all played out. Then when you had Jade, which I understand she wants to take time off, but you have to understand that she has been openly in interviews complaining about she has nothing to do. You could see the writing on the wall that she's a little tired of them. Like, you can't just have her just go out there and beat some jobber, and then she come back, and then she beat another jobber, and then she actually gets a good match, but you don't hype it up, so you know she's gonna win. And then you get her to this point, and then Chris Statlander, somebody who's blown out two knees, and even said in the press conference, she was scared to come back. It's like, oh, she won. And it wasn't even Jade. Like, I gotta say, she was talking big cash, and she caused herself the problem. Mark Sterling caused herself the problem. So it's and you got two black women losing in 2 days in a row. That didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is that it was always Chris Statlander who was going to be the one to beat Jade. Once Tony makes a plan, he doesn't change the plan. He's just been waiting for her to come back in order to do it.
Yeah, but you have to remember, he was stuck on Thunder Rosa. She was on blogs every week talking about her back was messed up. And then look what happened. You got a lady who blew out both her knees, who has openly stated that she even told Tony she was a little nervous, a little scared. She had her own self-doubt. And you were like, I'm going to get her the title. Here we go. We're going to put this on you, and we're going to shoot you to the moon.
But when it comes to Thunder Rosa, all it took was Britt to say she was angry with Thunder Rosa for Thunder Rosa to lose everything. What Chris Statlander has going for her that kind of that situation won't happen to her is the fact that she has people behind the scenes that are higher up that can advocate for her. And her popularity is much higher than Thunder Rosa's was. With Thunder Rosa, she just happened to have a reputation for hurting people, even though it's come out that wasn't true, and that was a lot of like lies and falsehoods planted. It was always going to be Statlander. I would have loved it to be Red Velvet, but if it hadn't been for Statlander being hurt, I don't think Jade would have gotten to 60-1. I like the fact that her trusting Mark Sterling again is what really cost her the match. And I think this will be able to change Jade into more of a crowd favorite because fans were cheering her regardless. But now Jade is going to be more money as a face. I personally feel like she's going to be a way more marketable face.
I think she's already marketable. She's been walking red carpets. She's been killing photo shoots. She has been taking this time when she ain't on TV, and she's been pushing herself like Mercedes Moné was. She's getting herself out there. So I think she's a bigger picture than AEW and wrestling in general. But she thought AEW was going to be like a family home. We're going to work together. She worked out with Brian Danielson, but now she sees that, oh, I ain't on TV. I'm putting in the work. I'm not on TV. I'm not being seen. I'm not being pushed. You know what? I'm going to take some time off and work on me and do better myself in another craft.
All right. So I'll say this real quick. My hope for Jade is that finally they'll get her out of her bubble and let her beat top people like Sheeta, Britt Baker, because that's really what made her record stale. It's like there's more people you could feed her to, but you're not feeding them to her, which is stupid.
No. She never faced Serena. She never faced Riho. There are so many big name women she never faced.
Why not? I think it's a conspiracy that both my black queens won at the same time. I don't know what it is, but when y'all finally show it to me, I'm like, yep, right there.
Well, Bianca had a record to break.
But I'll say this: I'm less hurt that it's Statlander because, like I said, we all knew that was the person to beat Jade, so I'm not less hurt. And how they did it was, it was right after another match, so hopefully a rematch for a nice full match between her and Statlander will be cool. But yeah, I'll be back.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not a big Statlander fan, but I understand it was Tony's plan from a year ago. It's always been the plan, so I get it.
I mean, I guess if you have to have Jade, who you have overpowered for so long, lose, this is one of the only ways I suppose you can do it is to have a second match right in a row and, have her lose like that. I mean, otherwise, the idea of her beating Statlander one-on-one is probably, at minimum 50-50 and more likely Jade. So I guess this is really the only way to do that. But I don't know. At the moment, I didn't really like it. In hindsight, I guess thinking about it and listening and talking it out here a little bit, I can see why they did it, and I can see, why that's the only way to take the belt off of Jade. But in the moment, I didn't like it watching the show.
I think Jade, when she becomes the AEW Women's Champion, will be the greatest AEW Women's Champion they will ever have seen. And I think she will do it as a face. They've never really had like that face women's champion. I want to see her be that woman that takes AEW to the next level. And she can, but Tony cannot book the women.
You didn't feel that way with Sheeta and Riho? You didn't feel that way with Sheeta and Riho? But they were the face?
I liked them, but to me, I cannot recall a better face women's champion that I actually enjoyed their matches in a long time, besides Bianca Belair.
I think when it's coming to as far as the face, Britt is the only one. Britt's the only one that's been out in interviews with the belt, talking about it. She was on with Nick Cannon shows, some other shows. She's the only person that they have put forward to say, you can represent our brand. Jade can do that and do it very well. She gets on these red carpets. She is smooth and she looks great. But you did not put her out there. Even when she walked the BET red carpet, she didn't have her belt. She looked like a goddess. And that could have been a time you promoted your belt in a different demographic.
I think you're not. When I'm saying face, I mean a baby face. I don't mean the face of the company. To me, no, I mean the face of AEW women already. When I think of AEW women, I think of Jade.
You can say Britt.
I don't think of every during that time. I think of Jade. I think of Jamie Hayter. That's who I really think of. And Willow, but that's because I love Willow. I don't think of Britt. I don't think of a lot of these women who they've had. Jade, to me, is the face of the AEW women because she is dominant, she is smart, and she's really gifted. And she's actually one of their better talkers when they let her talk. When I say face, I'm talking about baby face because to me, I want to see her challenge herself. We've already seen her challenge herself in the ring. We know she can do it. They have to give her something else. And AEW really is not that good at booking women, but especially heel women. For the love of God, if it can see more of her and see her growth as a face, make her a face, and she can do it. She could be the one that is the outcasts are running roughshod over the women. She comes back and by her damn self, she wins blood and guts. She is to me somebody I could believe and pin my hopes on and not be oh, now we're going back to the same repetitive shit. To me, I want more for her. I think she would have benefited the most if the Impact women could have come over. We could have had Jade versus Deonna Purrazzo.
Mickie James.
There were so many things, Tony. There were so many women's matches. You could have just put on 2 dynamites of women's matches by themselves. But see, I don't know if they can book her without the baddies as a heel, as a face, letting her go alone. Perfect.
Well, I liked her.
So,
yes. I didn't want to say it, but yes.
I suppose I'm biased. I really enjoyed the Riho and the Shida runs. I mean, the Shida was during the pandemic era, and it's unfortunate that Shida's best match as champion was her last match as champion.
This sounds terrible to say, and maybe I'm way off base. I always think that an American wrestler is going to get over more than a foreign wrestler in America. No disrespect to Rio or Shida. Maybe that's a terrible way. I don't mean it in a negative way. I just think that tends to be kind of our as a country.
I'll agree with Shida, but I will not agree with Riho. Everybody loves Riho. Well, aside from Dave Meltzer.
You have to remember they have done interviews since then saying that Tony brought them here, and they just had to figure out their own way. They had to figure out how to connect to the audience, where to live, where to go, where to eat, without. They were just dropped into something that they had never been in before.
Sure.
So that's why they didn't connect. Where you have a Oscar that over time We developed to get to know her. They have put her in positions where we're like, oh, I really like her. And now that she can show herself a little bit more and she's got her own YouTube channel and doing her own things, we get to see her outside of just that character where she's just spitting mist and just being like, sometimes they have her being goofy. But now she's developed her brand as a AEW's like, come wrestle and this is it.
Sheeta has a YouTube where she plays piano, sings, acts, does different things. She
started that and then she kind of stopped because I used to be on her YouTube channel. Then she started back again. But it's like, even with Oscar is now doing vlogs and doing like, even when she goes to get her hair dyed. I find it interesting. I get to see another side of her, like going shopping in America. Like, I just got a notification like an hour ago. The night before she won the championship, she has a whole blog of that. So it's like, you don't get to know these wrestlers. You don't get to see them. They don't have no personality on the TV screen. And all you do is just throw them out there as AEW and we have to figure out who they are. No, we want to get to, you have to tell us who they are. Big Swole put herself over and we got to know her. Britt, she just kind of just fell in our lap when we had to take her.
The vlogs got a lot of people over. Like, seeing Big Swole in the different like skits and stuff on Being the Elite and sometimes Sammy channel, even just being in the background of shit. Like, her actually being on Twitter helped her a lot because the interactions were, and still are, hilarious as hell. But
that is one thing.
Dolores, I'm gonna agree with you about something. When Sheeta made those statements about how they just kind of got dumped here, like for the women, she lost her belt pretty soon after. So the only consequences for speaking out against Tony has been like Britt.
So I'll say this about the whole we call it when I get into this life. I'll say this, even though I haven't any experience with Stardom or any the New Japan stuff, so far every chick that I've seen debut in America, regardless of where they are, Sheeta, Asuka, Io, Kairi, Riho, they've all had a personality on lock. I've never been like, oh, they could use, nope. It was instant, oh, these chicks are bad. I love these chicks.
It's like
that's not a them problem. I think that's a booking. I think that's a booker's problem of what I don't get over. And that's like TK, Vince McMahon. Make these chicks shine. Stop letting streaks get broken by bougie people from North Carolina. Stop letting the people who've been running pandemics get beat when they finally have crowds and a new belt in place. Stop letting it happen. That's a Booker error. That's not a them error. That's a Booker error.
But they're thinking about money. And the perfect example is Kairi. Kairi came to WWE. Yes, she had personality, but it was like, I'm the pirate princess. And then it was like, okay, well, I don't take that serious.
But when the Kabuki Warriors are on there?
But in Stardom, I believe she could take me in a dark alley and kick my ass. She comes out there, she's pirate princess, but she is like, from the moment the bell rings, I'm going to kick your ass, and you're going to have to just take it. And so that's something that's missing here in America. They don't realize how to handle people correctly and work with them. Like Dusty used to work with students to kind of get their promo game up. Now it's just like, jump out there, you're on TV.
But I still think that part of that lies in the fact of how we view wrestling versus how Japan views wrestling. Like I was watching clips from Wrestle Universe this weekend where that was like a wrestling show, but it was also like dimension happening, like different things happening. That's something you would never really see on TV in the United States. Like even the doll fight, like the sex doll fight, you're not going to see that on like weekly television. And it has a damn good story to it. Like she has a whole arc, and it's a good one. Like doll has lived like a full life, but they're not going to have that on TV because how it is viewed is still like a sport, even though it's not a sport. And I think therein lies the problem with like American fans. We'll like stardom in the doses that we get it, but very few people who watch like the pay-per-views are going to watch every week to week show if they can. Like,
but every week to week watcher, I think Stardom messes up where New Japan understands. Stardom is like, you look at that week to week, Sammy can tell you, they're sitting in their bedroom, they're in the bathroom, they're giggling, they're talking in their language. I don't understand shit. There's no subtitles, there's no English version, there's nothing. The only English version I get is when a pay-per-view is on. And that's the problem. New Japan, I watch every morning this week. I got an English version. I understood what's going on. I can relate. They gave me backstories. Where Stardom is like, I watched a press conference where I did not understand a lick of English except for the two women towards the end who looked at each other.
No, fuck you. Fuck you.
No, fuck you. And it made me want to watch the show because they were like intense with it. And they did try to knock each other block out when the match came. But it's the fact that you don't have that. I think they feel like they can't get to a broader audience when we're out here. We want to get this new wrestling. If it wasn't because I love wrestling, I probably would have stopped watching Stardom a long time ago. If I can't understand it, screw it. I'm not going to watch it.
One thing I have to give to Riho is she let her work in the ring talk for her. Like, you're able to understand that she's working as an underdog baby face without knowing anything about her just by seeing her work in the ring. And also the fact that she works with the experience of somebody 10 years older than what she is.
But it's like, but to that credit, it's like, you're like, okay, I'll take NXT, right? So they can take Io, right? She came in like a bubbly face, pink tights, right? As soon as she hit heel and that music hit, I'm like, okay, now can go gas, Kyrie, okay. Again, I like we call it. She was the one with the little umbrella, the pirate, but the Kabuki Warriors. And that was probably that match actually main evented a women's tag team match main evented TLC. Like, and merchandise. You know how many little umbrellas they could have sold? How many Oscar masters they could have sold? But some people, you don't want to put that money in and try. That's on you. That's not on them. That's on you. I would buy an umbrella before I buy anybody's t-shirt, because that's something I will use. I'll put that mask on every time I go to WWE.
How many of those ugly Alexa dolls did they sell?
They were top merch for a while. People, they go for the money. It's like, yes, Bianca has the title, but the man is selling millions of shirts. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give her the title. Charlotte sells, and she goes to these signings, and if she's on the TV, her name brings eyes to it. So
but it's also giving people a chance. Like when Trinity had that glow, when she was a champ, why the freak did y'all not sell glow in the dark WWE SmackDown titles? That's on y'all. That you're telling me a green and blue glow in the dark WWE title won't sell? Why didn't you even try? That's at least okay. Let's make 500 and see what happens during the next review. Oh, they sell out. Let's make more. Just do that. You have to try. You can't just say, "Oh, it won't sell if you don't try." No, I do not subscribe to that.
I think they think, okay, like even for that, most of the belts you see online are the top sellers in merchandise. So if I can sell this ugly doll for like millions of dollars, I'm gonna get an ugly doll belt. You know what I'm saying? Trinity wasn't really selling merchandise back then.
But they weren't trying though. Like when you're I'm sorry, when you're the champ, you have to try. Like I said, make 100 glow in the dark little WWE women's belts and see what happens. You have to try. You cannot just say, "Oh, we won't try." That's on y'all. Nah.
After you make it, you still have to promote it. You have to look at the Fiend. Every time you see his social media, every time you see him somewhere, the Fiend mask is there. So when he was doing that, that's just
money. They made it first, though. They made it. They wouldn't let her have the belt.
They made the shirts first, then they made the mask, then they made the belt. So it's like you have to sell to get to a certain point. I think that was his problem too. He's like, I'm not getting this kickback for this money and I'm selling out. But you have to remember, if her shirts ain't selling, why am I gonna take the step to go to make her a belt? Because that might not sell either. And I don't make these belts, and some of these belts cost money. Even the plastic ones are $500.
But again, going to like, I don't even remember a shirt. I don't remember the shirt with her name on it or anything that said "Feel the Glow." So again, you have to try. I'm sorry, no, you have to try. That's on them.
Hold up. We talking Naomi?
Yes.
Because Naomi, for the longest time, the only piece of merch they had was a Yaki ponytail in a ball cap. They did not have any merch for her, and that was your auntie going to get her hair did, and she didn't want nobody to really see her like creeping type situation that she had. Then she got the shirts, and before they could even like think to make a replica, like a small replica belt, those aren't that expensive. And I know of several collectors who wanted that glow in the dark belt because no one else has made like a glow in the dark belt. So they could have made that for like collectors, and they would have made their money back had they done it, because this is also a lady that has been in several major media outlets and brought attention to the product from a lot of Black fans, and honestly from a lot of gay fans.
So is it just the systemic racism that I mean, is it just the systemic racism of WWE wrestling in general and our country that keeps Trinity from getting merchandise in WWE and getting the opportunity?
Like, okay, I went to the WrestleMania that was in Orlando 2017, 2018. You know how many chicks were in her green glow in the dark cat suit that came to WrestleMania? I'm like, I'm pretty sure y'all not wrestling fans. I'm pretty sure, but it was a gaggle of chicks that had that freaking bodysuit on, their long freaking 21-inch bundles.
The five of us here are a fairly, representative swath of what's going on out there, I think, for the most part. I mean, I guess my question is, how do each of you feel about wrestling audience as a whole, the wrestling universe and fandom as a whole? Like, what percentage is female? What percentage is minority? What percentage is not, you know what I'm saying, as far as merchandise sales? And does that have an influence on why WWE decides to not promote minorities or women more? Or is it a chicken and an egg situation? Or what do you guys think it is? I mean, obviously they track their demographics. They know who their fans are. They're making tons of money, and so they're selling right to whatever. But I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
But it's
the highest demo.
I'll say this.
The highest demo is white men over 50.
Okay.
But maybe if we had more guys that aren't, I don't know. Let's say Goldberg winning the title. If we don't have situations of that, maybe we open up to more demographics.
Okay, so two things. As much as I are not fans of them, the Bella Twins were not getting over until Total Divas came out. Now, I'm not sure who had the idea of having a reality TV show, but because you had a reality TV show, you have way more. That opened up a whole demographic of people. So when you go outside yourself, wrestling companies in general, it does work. And then about the whole 51-year-old man, I told you straight up, when my dad was here on the couch, I was watching NXT, and I'm like, give me 10 minutes. It was Mako versus, what's her name? Roxanne Perez. He ain't watched that, both of them. He, at the end of the match, when Mako lost, he was like, boo. I'm like, well, you just making shit. I don't care. The thick fat chick should have won. And so when you have, like, when you're that star and you have it, you're going to get recognized. And it's just a matter of the right booker pushing you to the top. It's not hard.
How do you have enough faith in Trinity Naomi to be your champion, but not have enough faith in her to sell merchandise?
So that's the question.
You.
That's the question that I'm asking. Like, why did Charlotte get merchandise? Why does Becky get merchandise, and maybe Naomi doesn't, even though she's a champion?
It's like,
I mean, is it strictly a racism thing? I mean, is that really? I mean, I'm not saying really. I'm saying, is that what it is?
You don't want to say that, but I remember that episode, Total Divas, and she had all of these ideas, and it was just simply, can I have a new entrance? I want glow in the dark. I want a DJ song, and they're like, well, maybe not this time. And she was like, when is the time? When is the time? All these talks about, well, all you gotta do is just go talk to Vince. Well, evidently you have to do more than that. Because she has a million trillion ideas. When she was wrestling in Impact, the Under Siege, you saw the freedom of how many movesets that she just wanted to do. She was doing a Bronco Buster. She did Nikki Bella's move. I'm like, ugh. Stop handcuffing people. Stop handcuffing wrestlers into this little mold that you have. Keep free.
But WWE's done that with a lot of people that are not just a minority, right? Not just
but like they're like, even their mentality of what a top star is supposed to be. Like when Keith Lee was coming out, and they're talking about don't do a Spanish fly. Stop going off the top rope. I'm like, who are these people? And why are you giving people advice? Like, shut up. Shut up. Like Seth was like, when he was going to do NXT, and the person who was training him, he was like, I coasted until I got to the top, until I got to the main roster. But I knew what I wanted to do when I got there, and I did it. And
who was the asshole who told Keith Lee to put a shirt on?
Yeah.
Other people say words.
No, I mean, the reality is that we all know that in our society, especially in the U.S., but in the world in general, it's a patriarchal world, and sexism and racism are still rampant, and they're still very institutionalized. And when you have a company that's ran by a guy that's from a generation when that stuff was more widely accepted, who hasn't changed, you're not going to get any change. So, I mean, you have a man running a company in Vince McMahon that is a sexist, racist person. And I believe that. So, is it that easy to chalk everyone up that doesn't have a success that's a person of color in WWE to that? Probably not. It's probably minimalizing a lot of other issues. At the same time, they do choose widely who to promote and who not to promote, and it does seem like there's some questionable decision making there, especially when it comes to sex and race. It seems. Go ahead.
So last thing, I don't want to go over everybody, but I think Lana said something so profound, and everybody jumped on her about it. She was like, "Bookers have their favorites."
Sure.
Period. You have to go above and beyond. Yep. When you're not their favorite, like Miro. No offense, talking about, well, Miro didn't want to lose. I'm sorry, Miro was killing it as TNT champion. After that belt, okay, I know you can't win everything, but how many times did you book him to lose? And then Sammy just said it. When he has a story, when he has an end to his story, he always keeps it. I don't think he ever thought that the Acclaim was supposed to be tag team champions. But that big behind pop in Chicago, he couldn't ignore. He was like, I'm gonna let you have the belts for now. And then he was like, but my end story were the guns. And you see how that played out. So I'm not gonna say 100% is about minorities. Sometimes bookers do have it, they're just so stagnant or they can't break free of their stories. But it's like, bruh, when you see someone go over, ride the wave. Ride the wave.
It might have been that way with Jamie Hayter too.
Or have a situation where you not have a crazy feel you have to that you have to contain, that you don't want to contain anymore. You should just get the belt to Moxley.
Well, and whether you like them or not, whether you're a fan of Double J or a fan of Sting or any of those, or even CM Punk, the reason those guys are in AEW at all is because Tony Khan is a fan of those guys and wants those guys in his wrestling company and wants to see them wrestle and do their thing. And that's all because he's the booker and those are guys that he likes and wants to have on his show.
But he likes Goldberg.
You're always going to have those issues to a certain extent, right? I mean,
he likes Goldberg. And when asked about it in the press conference, he kind of did the, I can't talk about it, but I like Gold. And I was like, please don't bring him here. Please. Yeah.
And you can have your toys. I am all for all the people being in the company, but they shouldn't be winning titles. They shouldn't be going over younger talent. When people fall off, Warlord cough, get the belt off of these people and give to other people who can take the belt someplace else.
Were there any other matches on Double or Nothing that anybody wanted to talk about?
I did actually. There was one more match. Here's my question. Now that it doesn't seem to happen in 21 men where he's the outsider and doesn't have to get pinned to lose it, can't do it, who's ever going to be Orange Cassidy?
Again, it's a plethora of people. But will TK pull a trigger? I don't know. It should be Swerve. It should be Keith Lee. It should be Malachi Black. It should be Percy Murphy.
If in your head, Tony Khan, you couldn't come up with someone. If in your head, Tony Khan, you couldn't come up with someone, then that was the perfect opportunity to do it because he didn't have to lose and you didn't do it there. So when are you going to do it? And who's it going to be?
Miro, Collision.
Takeshita! You have people there!
And the crazy thing is, in the press conference when mentioned about why he chose, he was like, well, he looked at Tony to get the answer. Tony didn't say anything. And all Orange could come up with in that moment was, I pretty much beat them more than once. So I thought, let's just put them all in the ring and me beat them again. And I was like, that's kind of like what it seemed like. I don't know what to do. Just put them all in the ring. I'm going to just beat them all at one time and just get rid of it.
So MJF's media scrum. He was like, I believe people should be built up. That you're telling too many truths that TK is not delivering on. That's not a them problem. That's a TK problem.
But TK face was shocked when he said, when I said I'm taking my father home, I'm not just talking about WWE because I know they want me. Yes, when he says, yes, the other Khan wants me. I know Triple H wants me. And Tony Khan's face, when you zoom in, is mortified. And I'm like, again, you let somebody just come out there and just say what they want to. You didn't talk about it.
And he says he's done it all. He's had the best dog collar match. He's had the best fatal four-way match. He's had the best this, the best that. He doesn't have to go anywhere else. After his contract's up, he can just go home and retire. He has the money. And I was just like, shit.
I'll say this because I wasn't here for it. The four-way MJF put in work. I have him always be mic'd up because this when stuff was happening to him, he had the best reactions. Like, what the? Time out. Take the money. All right, look, Sammy, you got a baby. Take the money, Sammy. It's just like, I'm not saying he shouldn't be champion. I'm saying build people up to face him. We have Eddie Kingston. Go buck wild. We have Swerve. Go buck wild. Come on.
Wheeler Yuta.
Almost.
They've been building the story. MJF has been building that story more than Yuta has.
I think he should beat Orange Cassidy or have the TNT title before he goes against MJF.
Can you
Me
imagine
personally.
Yuta as a champion coming out and doing the promo? I would break my eyes out at that point. It's like he comes out, hey, I want to challenge you. No, I don't want to hear that shit. Get the hell out and just fight. Just fight. I'd rather see you fight and not talk. That's why I like Blackpool Combat Club. You don't really talk. They talk, and that's it.
Can I? We good?
Yep.
We
Yeah.
straight? Cool. So going back a few topics.
Yeah.
One, look at the gimmicks that are given to Black wrestlers and then rethink your thoughts. Like the fact that John Cena came out with a whole album and it was promoted and that was his persona and he was Thug Life and that was cool versus Crime Time, who really did not do that many crimes when you look at it. They were the hoodlums. He was the good guy who did more actual crimes than John Cena. Look at the fact that Kofi had to be Jamaican rather than his actual heritage. Big E, they completely stripped him. The New Day, what they were given at the beginning versus what they turned it into. The fact that you have Trinity, who was your first FCW Women's Champion, who was on NXT when it was the game show with the women, and who actually, from the crowd reaction, was winning until you made overwhelming odds for her not to win and get kicked off. She, as she's putting a dancer gimmick, not allowed to talk, doesn't grow her moves, versus AJ and Caitlyn, who were given much better things off the rip. Now, that's WWE. We all know about Vince's issues. But let's look at AEW. Tony and his issue with women and his issue with women having issues with how he books them and how he speaks to them is press conference. And of course, he still has those tweets up about Big Swole, where he has been proven incorrect and shown that he just does not give a fuck, because rather than actually listen and reach out and try to repair things, he loses Big Swole and Leo Rush. And look what Leo Rush has gone on to do. And those people who kiss Tony Khan's ass, where are they now? Where are they now? Let's also add in the fact that most of his Black wrestlers don't really have personality, with the exception of like Jade. Like most of the rest of them, most of the Black women don't have a personality unless it's sassy. Also, cutting back to WWE, the weird obsession with fans wanting to have Bianca Belair cut her ponytail is very odd for me. And it's like, why would you want her to cut her ponytail, but other people lose like a belt? That doesn't equal to me. Back to AEW. When's the last time we saw Sunny kiss on TV? Nyla Rose.
Dark Elevation. I mean, that's YouTube, so not on TV.
Anthony Bowen gets that push because the Acclaim went over. But what made AEW different from WWE was the fact that you had more, to be quite fair, Black representation, as well as more LGBTQ representation. And damn, where'd that go? While the demographic is skewed white, male, older, that is because they are not building these new stars. That is why a lot of younger fans do not watch the American shows. They tend to watch New Japan. They tend to watch the Stardoms. Those are things that bring people in. I have friends who are like anime nerds, so they love New Japan. Try to get them to watch matches in AEW featuring some of the same people, and they don't want to watch it when they have to go back and look at the storyline of shit. Like, I had somebody watching the fucking Golden Lovers because I was like, this is the best love story ever. Looks at Kenny Omega and is like, so what happened to some of his creativity? And Kenny and Anthony are like the two major non-heterosexual males that they push. And we don't talk about it. Like it's fascinating to me the caveats that people get put into. Now, going back to Double or Nothing, and Orange Cassidy, I think that Orange Cassidy, I need Swerve to have a belt. I need Swerve to have a belt, and I need Swerve to face pack. And those are the two
baseline.
things.
Can we baseline? Can we just get Swerve versus Keith Lee, please?
I have kind of given up on that. So since that might not happen, I will settle for two of the three things that I really want. I want Swerve to have a belt, and I want him to face Pac. Because God knows, if I can get nothing else, I know the Swerve with the belt will be fascinating as hell and hilarious. But Swerve versus Pac may like kill everyone involved, like us watching it, because we're gonna like explode like holy shit. And I don't know if there's enough holy shit to ensure our safety. But I'm gonna also say something that I kind of wanted to see, and I don't know when we're gonna see it. I wanted Swerve and Jade to interact and just kind of go on a spree of anything you can do, I can do better, and just start beating the shit out of people just because I am him. I'm going to show you how much of her I am. And I would just, yeah. I want, like, real talk. If we can we have intergender matches, Tony? Because I want to see, I want to see like Nyla Rose yeet Serpentico as hard as she can. I want to see Jade beat up Sammy Guevara. Because I want to see Jade hit the, as these people are doing flips and shit, and just be like and walk away. Come on, Tony, give me something. Because if you can't book the women well, shit, book them with the men. You can book those. I got a 50-50 chance there. I got a 50-50 chance there.
And that's across the board, because I still want Rhea versus Solo. I don't care how you give it to me. I need to see that in my life.
I feel like everything would go well in that match, but then Rhea might hit Solo too hard, and he might be like, "Bitch, you're not related to me." And then Dom is gonna be like, "My mommy, what? Oh, mommy!" And then we gotta go to like commercial, and it's like the something happen.
Before we move on, I just wanted to bring up the moment of magic during Anarchy in the Arena, where Hangman Page and Kenny Omega was taking on all of Blackpool Combat Club by themselves. And it just reminded me of how great of a tag team those two were.
Right? Like, oh my God. Okay. The only thing I didn't like about that match was like the ending was, it could have been better. I'm not gonna say it sucked, it just could have been better. Don looked really out of place, and I hope it wasn't just me that caught Moxley's face. He was side-eyeing Dom. He was like, we got Takeshita. We didn't ask for him. If they don't beat Dom up on Dynamite, y'all are not my BCC. This is how he side-eyed him. But besides that, I loved everything. And like when I was out in the theater and I was in the chat, I'm like, can someone get Claudio? He's all by himself outside. Can y'all please get him back inside? He just being stupid. It was just, yeah.
What I was thinking is that Brian is making all these plans and he ain't talking to everybody else about it. He's just making these plans.
Yeah. Sammy, I love that. Where he's the one who made the deal with Don and Takeshita, and he didn't tell anybody.
But they wanted Takeshita, and Takeshita did believe with them because they had their eye. Brian Danielson said he wanted to face Takeshita, and it was him, Yuta, like Lee Moriarty. He was mentioning some young guys that he wanted to bring in. Now look, I got a little itty bitty problem with the fact that Lee Moriarty was not brought into Blackpool Combat Club because For the love of God, I need him to do something.
We were close. Like they had matches with him, but for some reason they just kept him with the his name is not 5-star
Big Bill.
Splash. What's his name?
Oh, I thought you were talking about how Lee Moriarty's with Big Bill.
No, when he was going to get BCC, he was with the dude that was doing the 5-star Splash, the best one that Randy Orton hit with the RKO. What's his name? Yeah, he was with him, and they weren't breaking them up. It was too slow. So I'm not sure why they didn't officially do it, but they weren't having matches with him, and it was like
Yeah, Seidel is actually from St. Louis. Love my local boys.
Yeah, and so so it was a slow burn, but I guess I don't know who's in charge of who could be in the club or not.
All right, so now that we got that out of the way, moving on. Night of Champions.
Okay.
You seem excited. You want to lead us off, Anika?
No. Just tell me when we get to the main event. Yeah, everybody can cook. When we get to the main event, let me cook. Go.
So this show was kind of. Go ahead.
There was one good women's match.
Yes, obviously. I mean, Rhea and Natty, you knew. I don't think, at least I wasn't. I never thought that was going to be a good or close match. I mean, I assumed it was going to go basically how it went. I mean, my only question is why even do it then? I mean, I
think Natty got pictures of the Saudi prince. Cause why the freak does she keep being? I don't think who's inviting her. She is not over, even when she was in her prime. Cause I know sometimes they have their I don't want to be culturally inappropriate. Can I say Indians? What's the official heritage? Asians. I know that the Saudis they are fans of stuff in the past, but I'm like, when was she hot? She was never hot. Even when it was a Divas era, she was never hot. I think she got pictures on somebody. Just tell me who so we can set you free. But on the flip side of it, please don't break up Dom and Rhea. Please. Cause the ending when they were celebrating and Dom jumped into Rhea's arms, I'm like, y'all are too stupid. Y'all are too stupid together. And yes, I'm here for Dom when you went in the bank. Yeah, there, I said it.
I thought there were some real highs and some real lows on this show. I thought that Rhea and Natty was a real low. I thought Brock and Cody, unfortunately for me, was a real low. I thought Seth and AJ was the best match of the weekend for me. Even though I'm not a Seth fan, I thought they fucking killed it. I thought that match was insane. And, the Bloodline stuff, I mean, I'm happy to see them break up, but I didn't think that was, there was too much going on for me. I don't know. It is what it is.
What can I step in? Okay, so the Cody and Brock thing, me personally, I'm over Brock. I don't care about Brock. I don't care. This would have been better with the title. No, it would have been worse. With the Brock Lesnar did not mean nowhere near the title, especially right now. No offense. I'm gonna hit on the Bianca versus Asuka thing really quick. I don't like it. And it's not because Bianca lost, it's how she lost. I don't care. People need to realize it's not about people being beat. It's how you beat them. If you gave me a story, if you gave me a hint that this was happening, okay, cool. But there was no story here. What was the story?
There was no story, okay. But to be fair, I did pick her, and I said, there was something that just told me that she'd had the belt for a while. They wanted to do. I just had this feeling that they were gonna, even though they didn't build up to it like that. You could just kind of tell from the way, I don't know. From the way WWE machine works, it just seemed to me like this was what was going to happen. I don't like it. I wanted Bianca to win, even though I picked Asuka. I just thought that, for me, it felt like this was what was going to happen.
And I personally appreciated the ending because she had to pull out something she's never done before. She did something I didn't expect her to do. And, I mean, I wasn't ready for Asuka.
No. I love the ending. I loved where she missed her fingers and raked the eyes. I love that. That was actually a very nice ending. My thing is the build-up. It's like, okay, comparing it to the undefeated streak with Taker and Brock won. Sometimes the shock value, okay, when you do a shock value, the emotions you're trying to elude are mad, are pissed, maybe sometimes happy, but you should not have confusion in people's eyes. And okay, I know people are, some people are like, okay, finally it's off for her, but I had confusion. Like, what?
I mean, it's also the second match. I mean, they did have a little bit of. I mean, it's not just their first match, right? They wrestled at WrestleMania, and now they're wrestling here again. I mean, they've had a little bit of a program. I mean, not a lot, but I mean, it's something. I mean, I don't know. I didn't think it was absolutely nothing.
So the 78-year-old man is doing what he did last year, or 2001, or 2001, where people are doing 3 matches against the same person 5 times in a row. No, that is not good booking. It is not. Like I said, I'm not mad that she lost. It was just boo, boo, boo. It's
what about you, Dolores?
continue.
What were your thoughts on Night of Champions?
I liked it overall. I liked it. Better than I thought I would. It was kind of like, I said Battleground would be 1 for me, and then that would be 2. And yeah, Double or Nothing probably was bad. But I liked it overall. I kind of got, sometimes I can turn my brain off and get into stuff. Like the whole, she has been prepared for the match. Like, she is always prepared for every match to kind of like get the best of her opponent. And this time she was prepared for the match. She dodged it. But Oscar was like, I got something for you. And did something she had never did before. So I kind of understand that. The Cody match, I kind of don't understand how people can understand that you can hurt so bad that you will pass out. Like, I have been there. You in so much severe pain, you like, I got to go. So that whole, like, you can't just pass out like that. I understand some people in real life, but if that's supposed to be kayfabe or whatever, and you ranking my broke arm backwards, and I'm not going to give up, I got to go to sleep.
From a Brock perspective, it's a great move. It's a great way to win the match. From a fan's perspective, it is fucking boring to watch him sit and hold that arm on Cody Rhodes for 20 minutes. It's fucking boring. I'm sorry. And he did it twice for at least 5 minutes each time. It's like, dude, this is not fun. Like, it's just not. Like,
I think it was. I think
it was a shit sandwich with very great pieces of bread.
Yes. That's a very nice comparison. And no offense, this is what happens when you wrestle with a broken titty. So every other body part is like, well, you wrestle with a titty. You should have won with a broken arm. You wrestle with a broken titty. I don't care if you break your leg. You wrestle with a broken titty. I don't care if your neck hurts. This is what happens when you wrestle with a broken titty. And so every other injury. So how hurt are you? And that is just, you wrestle with a broken titty. You won the match.
His titty was not broken. His titty was basically laid off titty bone and migrating down. So his titty was moving. He was getting the long titty. That's what had happened.
So the first match was.
I only saw the Sammy introducing folks in Arabic and the super people heard around the world. So when y'all get to that part, I'll have excitement. But damn it, Cody Devontae Rhodes, yet another black man beaten by Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. So the first match was great. The last match was great. Everything in between you could very well skip and honestly. So let's talk about that last match. So we're doing top 3 matches of the weekend. This is my number 3. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, versus the Bloodline.
I went to work. I hate that I had to go to work. I came home. I watched this match. After I watched this match, I saw every other reactions to this. And all the reactions were just perfect. Continue.
Like that Jimmy, like the things that he said, like I thought it was going to be Jay that was going to turn on Roman, and for it to be Jimmy to do it because of Jay, like that is these brothers to a T.
Whoa. It wasn't for no Jay, because if it wasn't for Jimmy, Jay would have never been in the damn Bloodline. If it wasn't for Jimmy, Jay could have been the champion. Why? Because Jimmy kept inserting his punk ass motherfucking nose in Jay's business after Jay told him that he was the reason that Roman had any hold on him. And you know what Roman did? Roman came in there like, I'm going to cause some mayhem today between the brothers. And that is what happened. If Jimmy had sat his ass the fuck away, we wouldn't have had this fucking reign. But no, he decided, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my brothers to get attention off my brother, because I need it, I crave it, I must have it. Now where the fuck we at? Now your little big brother over here like shit. Now I can't hit this motherfucker with a spike. He gonna say this shit coming. Jay over here like shit. Now I gotta beat up Roman again. And damn it, y'all got mad at me the last time I did this shit. Y'all invited all the elders that had an intervention for my ass. And Roman over here like, well, fuck. Everybody hates me. What the fuck should I do now? Let me go make 11 more babies. Like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck?
I agree with you.
Could have been avoided if Jimmy had just sat the fuck down when Jay asked him to.
Roman, this is why Roman had to go into movies. He was acting perfectly like he was a crazy person. And Jimmy honestly thought that Roman had lost his damn mind. That's why during the I quit was it the I quit in the Hell in a Cell? I thought it was a cage. Never mind. Okay. So that's why Jimmy came in and was like, I will help you, bruh. I know you going through it. We was in a pandemic. We was all our minds were all warped. We gonna help you out of here. Not knowing that this is how Roman is. Oh, this nigga crazy.
Hold on, Anika. You got siblings, right?
Yes.
You close to your siblings?
Yes.
You knew when your siblings started acting real funny and started being like extra close to you.
But that's a cousin. That's a difference. That's why I want everyone to realize this is their cousin. They are not that
like
related.
There was three. All three of them was twisted up. Like you couldn't see one without seeing all three. There was three. It was in a paw.
Three pictures. That adorable. Three pictures of them and just smiling.
You saw all three of them. You saw
but here's the thing.
You saw all three.
So they were close, but Solo said that when that fool came around, he wasn't interacting with him. He just saw when he came to the house.
The difference between
they were that close.
The age difference between Solo and Roman and them is the difference between me and like my sister. Me and my sister are cool, but that's like a 8-year difference on shit. Like there's we not gonna be around. No, that is a huge deal.
No. If you come to my house, you better say hi.
Hold on, you
better play one game of Nintendo.
No,
that's for a whole hangout situation.
No, 8 years. That's an 8-year difference. 8 years. And them boys was out there playing football and shit. You knew they didn't grow up like that. He was kind of on his own, and them three were close together. Solo don't know shit about them. What happened was fucking Roman playing games with them motherfuckers because they did not use their twin telepathy, like their twinness. Like Big
Solo was graduating elementary school when they were graduating high school. Like
he got them now. He got him now. Look at the good part.
if Jimmy had sat his ass down, we would not be in this situation. Jay had the situation at hand. Jay had it perfect. Jay was about to do what the fuck they needed to be done because The Rock ain't gonna do it. Dwayne is too fancy to do shit anymore. Who else is gonna do it? The other cousins, pardon me for saying this because I find them attractive, but Vince don't want to fuck them, so they ain't gonna be in WWE like that. And let's be real, if you Samoan and Vince don't want to fuck you, you ain't going much where.
But now that's why the story.
But am I lying? Manu in Legacy. Vince didn't want to fuck that man. He goes away.
Rikishi only got a push when he put on the thong.
Rikishi only got a push when he got fat. That motherfucker used to look good as hell, and he wrestled good as hell too. And it hey, bro, how you was going?
No offense.
Ooh, I like my man plump.
I mean, no offense. When he was plump, he was getting it. Like that super kick. He could still do that kick like all the way up over his face. Like low key, him versus Val Venus was actually a very decent rivalry. Rikishi versus Val Venus, and it was all nice and bloody.
Vince didn't like him too skinny. He wanted his Samoans plumper. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. Like to be quite honest though, like all jokes aside, like you didn't really start seeing the more fit Samoan stereotype until The Rock. And it translated into the Usos and Roman. That became more of the look. But if you look back in their family, if they were bigger, they've gotten like bigger pushes to the detriment of their body because the family has said this massive weight gain is what like put so much strain, and then the drinking did not help it. So you know, Vince, I'm just letting you know if you ain't know that
So my second favorite match of the weekend was the Fatal 4-Way.
Which one?
MJF. Sammy.
MJF. Yeah.
All right.
I agree with that.
And my favorite match of the weekend, and I know I'm biased AF, it is what it is. Anarchy in the Arena.
No, that's your opinion. You can have that opinion. We're not done yet, but that's why it's Jimmy. The story's now full circle. Jay already drank the Kool-Aid. You saw his face when he was looking at his abuser on the floor. He didn't know to be cheering or not. So So I'm going to enjoy this. When SummerSlam? 3 months. This 3 months of having to deprogram Jay. I love the super kick was just it was so good. He was like look
Jay
at me.
About Sami Zayn. I don't trust him, Oos. Jimmy. Me and you must have a pot. Jay, I think we should split apart from Roman, Oos. I think we can do this on our own. Jimmy, but that's our cousin. He's head of the table. Jimmy, I think you should sit back. I got this. Jay, I'm going to get in the cage. Yeah, I know Roman is acting crazy, but I'm just going to get in the cage and I'm hurt. Da-da-da-da-da.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying the reason why Sammy couldn't get into Jay because he was still Canadian. He wasn't blood. Jimmy his twin. Jimmy gonna get him out of this funk. I got you.
Jimmy is the reason he in the funk. And Jimmy,
he's not. We gonna get him out of here.
He would not be here. He would not be here.
But now it's up to Jimmy. That's why though. You got him in this mess. He gonna get him out. Just like he pulled him out of the ring. We gotta go. That was the hoodest moment in the world. All right, we gotta go because I did do something stupid, and we gotta go.
And if you can't trust your little big brother to have your back, well, your big little brother to have your back against your cousin, what does that say about you, big brothers? Just saying.
No, he said I got you. I'm going to believe Jimmy on this. I got you. He got him. Just let him have him. CM Baggett.
If Jimmy ain't got him, Jimmy is the worst brother in the world.
Jimmy been the worst brother
He
in the
got
world.
him.
All he had to do was sit his happy ass in the back, and we would not have these problems.
This is Jimmy's chance. This is Jimmy's chance to step up. This is Jimmy's chance for redemption. It's his last chance here. It really is.
We got deprogram Jay. Jay is still
talking about, if I'll do anything for you. I'll do anything because screwing my brother. I'll do anything for you. He ain't Selena. It ain't anything for me. It's anything for Selena.
So right now, the main thing is we have to deprogram Jay. This is the scenario Jay is in. He is the abusive housewife, and we called the cops. The cops are at the door, but he still protected Roman, his abused husband. Where he's like, I failed. He didn't hit me. I failed. And so we got to deprogram this dude to get him out the house. The first kick was the first one. Now we got to put him in a cell. Make sure how we deprogram him. We're gonna get him out this mess, and we're gonna get him ready for SummerSlam. We're gonna be Jay versus Roman, and he's gonna be the head of the table. We got 3 months. We can do this, Jay. We can do this.
Let me just say, this is the most WWE story ever, where nothing in the ring, wrestling-wise, matters. It's all 100% storyline.
Okay, now I'll say this, and I truly believe this. I'll ask all of you. Do y'all think that moment will be as big if Roman didn't have the title?
Yes.
I don't think so. I honestly do not think so. Yes, the pop would be loud, but it wouldn't have been that loud.
I don't think it makes any difference.
I think it would have been. I don't think the title matters. The title has not mattered in a long time. The storyline is purely emotionally based now. I don't even watch the product, but I know that this implosion is happening. 1, because I listen to recaps, and 2, because of the gifts that I see on Twitter. And those are never really of the match. It is also it's always like the emotional stuff.
It was a good match. And let's not bypass the whole match for the moment. It was a good match. Heel Roman was a great heel, where he was like just shouting at Sammy, "I made you. You wouldn't be cheering for me if you weren't. It wasn't for me." And he was in the first 5 minutes. He wasn't even in control until he actually slid out the ring and regained control. But yeah, I totally agree. This is now emotionally driven. So much good stuff.
Sami Zayn is the best thing in wrestling in 2023.
Maybe.
They work.
My top 3 matches. Number 3 is shit. It's hard. It's really hard. Actually, number 3 is the Impact Under Siege event. Just that whole event. That's number 3. Number 2 will be Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. I quite honestly think that this might have been Jade's best match. I loved what she did, and just how much she gave to Taya, how much Taya gave to her, and just like the growth. I love that. That was awesome. Like,
yeah.
The Chris Statlander match, I do want an eventual rematch, not right away. I want Jade to take some time. And my number 1 match for the weekend, just because I can watch it over and over again, is the 4 Pillars. Just because of watchability. No, the Battle Royal. Because I'm gonna be quite honest, I'm gonna be 100% honest. That was Swerve. That was Ricky Starks. There was a few other folks in there that had me, and I was ready. Like I was ready for Cassie to lose that belt.
Who wants to go next? Anika, you got your 3. You want me to go? Dolores, you want to go?
Never trust anybody that willingly drinks Coke.
Excuse you, it's Pippin here, but I like both. Both. One person go, and then I should have my top 3.
You want to go, Dolores? Or you want me to go?
I can go. Mine is real quick. Number 3 is Jordan Grace and Deanna Purrazzo. 2 is from Saturday is the main event with Roman and Solo versus KO and Sammy. And my number 1 is Ilya Dragunov versus Dajak.
The Master of Pain versus the Lover of Pain. That was actually a pretty good match too. All right, I'll go. I have 4. I'm sorry.
Okay, I got 4 too, so it's all good.
Okay. How you want me to honorable? Yep. Right. 3.5 is Trinity versus the Covenant Lady. Like, I just love how she's wrestling right now. The freedom she has of doing everything she wants to do, and she's doing it very nicely, very right. So I'm not gonna force it. We're gonna let it move at the natural pace that it should be. But I miss my Trinity. Number 3.1. I'm going to give it to. I'm gonna give it to Aaron Arena because that was great. That was so much fun. Like, if you don't have fun watching this, I don't know. Like, what do you want from wrestling? No offense. Oh my gosh, I know you want sports. I know you want a technical wrestling, but sometimes it's a good time. It's a good time. I'm gonna give the number 2, the 4 Pillars, and only because of the ending. It hurts, but when it hurts good, I can't say, it's like if Darby doesn't beat MJF, I don't like. Why would you let him beat him in a second headlock takeover if he's not going to beat him? So you're just being mean and you're just being rude. That's my personal.
That's MJF.
Opinion. Huh?
Mean and rude. That's MJF.
That is MJF. That is MJF. I can't stand him, but it's that I can't stand him in the best way possible. So yeah, that's number 2. And number 1, Night of Champions, Roman Reigns and Solo versus KO and Sammy. So many emotions, so many good feels. The excitement is back. Where everybody was like, it's stale. It's not stale anymore. It's like second day lasagna. Let's see how this cheese melts and this seasoning is set in the ground beef with the noodles. Let's go.
All right. My 3. Number 3, I've got 2. I got Trinity and Giselle and Bianca and Asuka. I think they tied for number 3 for me. They were both really good matches. They were both the 2 best women's matches of the whole weekend. Number 2, Ilya versus Dijak. I thought they both laid it all out on the line. They killed each other. I want Ilya versus Darby Allin sometime in my life. I need to see that match. And for me, number 1, I said it before, Seth versus AJ. I thought the 2 of them tore the house down. I mean, for me, it was the best match. So I thought they killed it. Even though the outcome wasn't what I wanted, and even so Seth's ring attire was, I don't even want to talk about it. It was bizarre.
It was Jaguars. I can't be mad at that. Oh my God.
The match itself was insane. So
that match was my number 4.
No, that was like, we're going to see how much of a workhorse champion title this is, but for that to be the first match, they're on the right start. It's a great start.
No doubt. So CM, you had another topic. Do you want to delve into it? Did we spend too much time on this? And
I think we.
Oh, I didn't know we had another topic.
It is after midnight. The fuck?
Okay, I'm just asking. I mean, we kind of tangented into it anyhow, a little bit in the middle. So, you want to give us your clown of the week, and then we'll go away?
Clown of the week is very simple. It's a very simple clown of the week. It's for everybody who was talking shit about Trinity when she left WWE. How you feel now? how you feel now? Like you sucked all that dick, and now you can't swallow. Oh.
So here's my quick question, real quick, just on that topic. I don't mean to interrupt your clown, but just real quick. Who's had the better showing post WWE, Mercedes or Trinity so far?
What are you like? Depending, are you talking about wrestling wise or outside of wrestling?
Wrestling wise.
Wrestling wise, and given how little she was pushed, for me, it is Trinity because she was never really given a chance to be her own star. She was never fully given the opportunity to grab hold of the reins and be herself and do what she wanted to do because as we saw at Under Siege, she has a really good move set if they allowed her to do it. She was not allowed to do certain moves, but then you have Charlotte Flair coming out here looking sloppy as shit doing a moonsault, and she always looks like she is a falling scarecrow. Y'all can say whatever the fuck y'all want to. She looks like she is a fucking falling scarecrow. And I worry for her every time she does a moonsault.
Like it doesn't work if no one. You have to be caught. You cannot land on your feet. You have to trust someone to catch you.
And like she really looks like she's trying to like hold herself up when she does it, and it looks really bad. I think if she just did it, she could look really good in it. But yeah, for me personally, Trinity has already had a better showing. But I also think for me, because I don't watch the product that Mercedes Moné is on too often, I think that may play a role in it as well.
For me,
I will say Mercedes had my 5th favorite women's match of the year. So like,
for me, Trinity so far, just because I think everyone had such high expectations already for Mercedes and kind of knew what she could do, and people had so much doubt around Trinity and what that they thought it was going to be such a bad thing for her to leave WWE, and she's not Mercedes, she's not these guys, she doesn't have that talent, and I think she's shown them all that's simply not true, and that she is a superstar, and that she was held down by WWE, and that she's every bit as good as all of those people.
That's the thing for me. I don't want to compare because it kind of apples to apricots, not really oranges. Because even though Mercedes was she could have done way more in WWE. She was part of the 4 Horsemen. She did have a leg up. She was part of the main event. Trinity, she was in the trenches, man, of trying to get everything she wanted out of storylines, out of her persona, out of her wrestling. It's like she was hitting brick walls. So it's way harder for her to even get a showing. Even like, and so when they both left, Monet had more of a great footing to stand on. So I don't want to compare. But I think both of them are doing what they want to do, which is so great to see. Like both of them is like, finally, I'm going to show you why you should have listened to me in WWE and why we could have been the top 2 biggest, baddest chicks in the game. So yeah, that's my statement.
Dolores, you got one last comment on Trinity and before we head out on Trinity?
Was pun intended, Anika, for baddest because they were team bad? Was that pun intended?
It's not, but thank you for picking up what I didn't put down.
We'll get one last take from Dolores, and then CM can take us out.
I would say Monet. Her matches have been good. Her press conference has been good. She has made divisions just off her name and her wrestling alone. Because even with her selling tickets, you could have been like, she's going to suck. But she came out because she's had a time off. She's been doing the CBD business. She's been doing other things, but she's also been, most people don't know, wrestling, getting the techniques she wants and breaking out new move sets. So it's like, that's why I said Monet.
Monet.
CM, you want to take us out? Are you done with your clown tonight? I know I kind of interrupted. Did you have more you wanted to say, or?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Everybody to talk shit about Trinity's athletic abilities. For everyone who doubted that she made the right move for her and that she can actually be happy outside of WWE and outside that bubble and not be overshadowed by the family that she married into. For everyone who doubted her talent, for every joke that was lodged, for every, oh, she's following Sasha, for every single person who contributed to a narrative that she was unprofessional and whatever you want to call her after the 10 years that she took with WWE to set crap on her at every single opportunity they could. I say, y'all the clowns of the week. Clowns of the year. Clowns of your life. This woman
Clowns in your life.
Like, this woman is happy. She is thriving. She is doing better. She's in one of the best women's locker rooms in the world. And what's happening on WWE? Something about these nuts and Ronda Rousey?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Well, sucks for them. But we will be live again on Friday, starting at 8 p.m. for Friday Night SmackDown and transitioning into AEW Rampage at 10. I think it comes on that
Girl, back together on Friday.
Yeah. I just wanted to say I've heard them called a lot of things: belts, straps, titles, championships. I've never heard them referred to as nuts before.
Stop letting her talk on the mic, man. Moving on.
Anyways, all for naught. Hashtag come for the wrestling, stay for the chaos. Comes on tomorrow. It is not as chaotic as it could be because
they got a professional on us.
No, they're better. They're booking WWE better than fucking WWE is, and it's far more enjoyable. Like WWE is the chaos at this point. That is with Sammy and ALW. Friday Night SmackDown starts off with Dolores, Anika, Sammy. ALW and I jump in. And yeah, because I'm not watching WWE unless I have to. This Under the Radar premieres on Saturday, which has BTE, ROH, MLW, Impact, and that's it. Did I name all of it?
I think that's it for the moment.
Keep a lookout for new things that we might be dropping, as well as shorts that we might be dropping on YouTube for you all. Are there any shows this weekend that we're watching?
Dear God, say no.
I don't believe so. I don't think there's any pay-per-views this weekend.
So we're taking the weekend off.
Dolores might know. Is there any GCW this weekend?
Say no.
I think there might be, but I think I thought was it Impact that was having like kind of version of Backlash, like
they do that the very next day?
pay-per-view?
I thought they did the Fallout of Under Siege the very next day, but it wasn't a live show.
Okay,
Like it was a live show, like a house show, like it wasn't a paper, like it wasn't on TV.
I remember them talking about that, and I was like, I didn't know because I was like, I remember the last time they did the Fallout. Let's see, GCW schedule. This weekend is what date?
It'll be
June 3rd, June 4th.
Yeah, June 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, they have the Tournament of Survival on the 3rd, which is a Saturday, and
All
then
right,
on Sunday I think they have something. Yeah,
we'll let everybody know if we're going to do it on Friday or not. We don't do every GCW show, so we'll we'll let everybody know on Friday.
Yeah, sure.
Or follow the Twitter, check in on Twitter. We'll let you know that way too.
Most of us will be taking the weekend off.
That part.
But please stay tuned on our Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for any updates that will be made on those platforms. Connect with us on Twitter. Most of us are on Twitter. if you find my Twitter, just don't be weird. Because if you come off weird, I'm in housewives mode, and I just until give me like 2 weeks, and then I can be back normal. We're on Jersey's reunion. If you don't watch Real Housewives of New Jersey, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Watch it. Yeah. But until then, that is it. That is all from us over here at Workhorse Wrestling Network. Can y'all not scissor? We'll see y'all next time. The aggressive scissor.
The freaking down.
At least the ladies.
Bye.